Hello, I'm Francesca, and this is going to be a November astrology and tarot overview. So I'm just going to highlight the main transits this month, and then I pulled some cards for extra insight, support, all the magical things. So if that's something that you're interested in, please do keep on watching. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Help spread the love vibes around the world. So let's dive in, shall we? November, woo! We got some retrogrades, we got some directs. Venus is a busy lady this month. So I'm just going to highlight what I think are the major players, the major transitions from my perspective, of course. So take what resonates, leave the rest. Let's dive in. So on the 4th, we have Mars entering Sagittarius. So there's a lot of expansion. There's a drive. For perhaps adventure would be a good way to put it. And then being open to new possibilities, new pursuits. So super yummy. On the 5th, we have the Taurus full moon. And what's interesting is the vibe for this is a little more relaxed, like a little more, you can kick back a little bit, maybe indulge a little bit. It's Taurus, right? So maybe have a little piece of chocolate, etc. On the 6th, we have Venus entering Scorpio. So there's a lot more passion ignited under this transit, as well as perhaps newer layers of loyalty and love, commitment and love. So super supportive energy for all things related to commitment and loyalty and love. On the 7th, Venus then enters Taurus, or excuse me, Venus, oh my gosh. I got Venus on the brain. Uranus enters Taurus, which is all about making changes, right? And this, in general, in month, there's a lot of transformation going on. On the 9th, Mercury goes retrograde. So I know everybody gives Mercury a bad rap during retrograde, but it really is a time to step back, reevaluate, renew. And I think that actually links really well with kind of like the stepping back of the full moon a few days before that. So there really is this sense of renewal that can happen during Mercury retrograde if you take advantage of it. On the 11th, then we have Jupiter goes retrograde. And so we got 2 planets in retrograde, one close, one further out. Then we have, don't forget, the 1111 portal. So our second to last portal for the year. On the 20th, we have the Scorpio new moon. And remember, Scorpio is all about transformation. Like I said, when I look at what would be the main theme, if I had to sum up November in one word, it would be transformation. And of course, you're going to laugh at the cards that came out because ha ha ha. If you have been watching any of my videos or a member for a while, you know that there are never any coincidences, only synchronicities. So stay tuned for the cards at the end. On the 21st, the sun enters Sagittarius. So happy birthday to all the archers out there. On the 27th, Saturn goes direct. So, finally, things are starting to go direct. Then on the 29th, Mercury goes direct. So we see Mercury retrograde, going retrograde and direct in the same month. So that's good news. Fabulous. And then on the 30th, Venus enters Sagittarius. So like I said, Venus is a busy lady. We got planets going retrograde, planets going direct. Lots of happenings this month. So then when I took a look at the overview for, we'll say, auspicious days for love and connection with friends, pets, nature, but just the idea of connection in general, even with yourself, because remembering that your primary relationship is always with self. So let me get my paper here. So the best days for love and connection are the 6th, the 8th, the 13th, 17th, 20th, 24th, 26th, and the 30th. So once again, those very auspicious extra kick days are the 6th, the 8th, the 13th, the 17th, 20th, 24th, 26th, and the 30th. So yay, mark those down, put a little heart around those days in your calendar or whatever you do. Fabulous. So now on to the cards. I was originally going to just pick one card as an overview, and of course, one popped out during the pre-shuffle. So I was like, okay, let me set this aside. And then the other card came out, and they are both significant, so I'm going to share them both. So the first one that came out is Pachamama. And Pachamama really is unconditional love. And Pachamama, another name for Gaia, right? And it really is the love that Gaia has for all her children. Like each blade of grass, every stone, every tree, every drop of water on earth, including all of the humans, animals, so on and so forth. And I really love that because to me then, it's a beautiful card is going up here. It really is about relishing everything and being joyful and having gratitude for everything around you, which I think for those in the United States, celebrating Thanksgiving absolutely makes sense, makes perfect as a reminder. And then the other one that came out was Soul Retrieval, which is interesting because to me, this is about recovering yourself, returning to wholeness. And I think that this pairs perfectly with the Mercury retrograde that happens. Because once again, retrogrades are a time to go within. And to me, this really is a reminder, a great way to go within and perhaps remember those parts of yourself that you've forgotten, maybe dust them off, renew them, zhuzh them up, whatever needs to happen. And so I think that that's a great invitation, like I said, especially with Mercury in retrograde. Then I went to another deck to pull 3 other cards just for a little more support or insight, little nuggets of wisdom, things to focus on maybe throughout the month, as if that wasn't enough, but here we go. So the first one that came out was 3 of Air. And 3 of Air is interesting because it's all about like silver linings. And it's a reminder that what is meant for you is not going to be withheld from you. It's just a question of divine timing, divine alignment. And I think that's a great reminder, especially as the year starts to come to a close and retrogrades are a time of reflection. And a lot of times people can focus on, oh, well, I don't have this yet or that yet, or I haven't achieved this goal, whatever it may be, whether it's an internal goal, an external goal, but to really focus on you're still making progress towards that goal. And it is still yours. You may not be able to see it yet. You may have had a detour because there's something else that you needed to learn to be able to receive, whatever, but that it is yours. If you have a dream in your heart, it absolutely is yours to cherish and to have. And then the next one that came out was 9 of Fire, which, hilarious, is about reevaluating circumstances. And once again, with retrograde, it's about reevaluation. And to me, this also pairs perfectly with this is sometimes the outer circumstances don't necessarily reflect our inner world yet. It can take a while. The 3D is dense, it's physical, but to not get dismayed or deterred or down if we don't quite yet see. So reevaluating, and I absolutely love that. And then, drum roll, ha ha ha, the last one that came out was transformation. So transformation, obviously all about change, cycles, right? Nothing remains the same. And that's not a bad thing, right? If we think about, like, right now I'm in the northern hemisphere, the trees are, the leaves are, the colors are changing, they're falling, right? So Gaia herself is in a transition, things changing from one form to a next. And to me, once again, these cards just magically go together, and then remembering the guidance of Gaia and your own journey and your own transformation and your own transition from one form to the next. So I love the support and the reminders. We are in a time of transformation. Of course, we're always shifting and growing, right? But the theme for sure for November is transformation, but in a supported way. You get to choose what needs to shift and how you want to see that shift. You get to change how you want and the way that you want. And that's super empowering. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, I hope that you just take what you need, leave the rest. Thank you again. Give this video a thumbs up, click like, click subscribe. And because this is a part of this transformation and a reminder is being joyful and grateful, put in the comments something that you're grateful for. I would love to read that. And so that would make me grateful even more and just spread the joy. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great month. And until next time, more love vibes to come. Ciao.